What is it that actually holds our society together? It's a massive question, right? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig right into that. The absolute foundations of justice, the whole point of law, and most importantly, where you and I fit into that giant picture. So let's jump in. So, let's start with a big one. What really stops everything from just collapsing into chaos? If you strip away all the noise and complexity of modern life, what's that one thing, that bedrock, that keeps us all from falling apart? The answer is actually pretty simple, but its implications are huge. And that one thing is justice. And I don't mean justice as some lofty philosophical idea. I mean justice as the actual, functional structure that maintains order. Think of it like the scaffolding around a building. It's what allows a society to grow and to function without just crumbling. And this scaffolding is built on three core pillars. You've got fairness in how we treat each other, stability in our systems so we know what to expect, and accountability for our actions. If you take away any one of these, the whole structure gets shaky. It just can't work. Okay, so if justice is the ultimate goal, how do we even begin to get there? Well, that brings us to the rules we all live by. Let's start deconstructing this relationship between the laws that are written down and the much bigger concept of true justice. So the law is our main tool, right? It's the system of rules, the clear boundaries, and the structure we put in place to create that order we need. It tells you what you can do, what you can't do, but, and this is a big but, that's only half the story. And here is the absolute heart of the matter. Just because you're following the law, that doesn't automatically mean you're being just. The source material is crystal clear on this point. You can have laws that are themselves completely unjust. I mean, think back through history. So many discriminatory things were once perfectly legal, but nobody today would ever call them just. That's the huge gap we're talking about. You can really break it down like this. The law asks a very simple black and white question. Is it legal? Yes or no? But justice asks something so much deeper. It asks, is it right? One is about following the rules as they're written, and the other is about navigating the much tougher territory of fairness and ethics. And that is exactly where ethics comes into play. You can think of ethics as our moral compass. It's that internal guidance system that helps us use and apply the law in a way that actually aims for real justice. It's what bridges that gap between what's simply legal and what is genuinely right. So, the real goal here is alignment. True justice isn't something you find by only focusing on your legal responsibility or only on your moral responsibility. It's found in that perfect balance, that sweet spot where our actions line up with both the letter of the law and the spirit of what is fair and right. Okay, so what does all this mean for us, for the individual? This is where it gets really personal, because justice isn't just some big abstract system out there. No, it's powered by the choices that each of us makes every single day. It all comes down to accountability. And let's get really clear on what we mean by accountability. It's not just about getting punished when you mess up, not at all. It's an active choice. It's the personal decision to take responsibility, to answer for what you do and the impact it has. It's something you have to actively embrace. You can actually break this down into 3 simple actions. First, act with awareness. Know what you're doing and why. Second, accept the consequences, whether they're good or bad. And third, fully embrace that responsibility. Don't pass the buck. It's a simple framework, but it is incredibly powerful when you put it into practice. Which, of course, leads us to a really tough but critical question. I mean, it's one thing to be accountable inside a system that's fair, but what's our responsibility when the system itself, when the law on the books is actually flawed or unjust? Well, the path of a truly just person demands more than just blind obedience. It requires having the courage to first recognize injustice when you see it. Then, you have to seek to correct it. It means standing up for fairness, and this part is crucial, applying whatever rules exist consistently and impartially to everybody. And this is exactly how our small personal choices end up having a massive societal impact. That commitment to individual accountability, that's the very foundation that a fair society is either built on or, if it's missing, the reason it's allowed to decay.
Because here's the bottom line at a societal level. When justice is applied inconsistently, when it's fair for some people but not for others, it completely erodes the trust that holds us all together. It creates instability. Consistency is everything.
So, where does that big societal change even start? How does it begin? It starts with one person. It starts with you. Every single one of us has the power to start upholding justice just by committing to our own accountability and fairness. And if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Justice is not some abstract force that's just enforced on us from above. It is a living, breathing principle, and it is upheld moment by moment by individuals who choose to take responsibility. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you know the difference between just following the law and being truly just, and you understand the power you hold through your own accountability, how do you respond when you see injustice in your own life? What path do you choose?